you are out there in the dark, thinking you are alone. That is the lie we tell ourselves so we can sleep at night. The truth is, people across North America will look you straight in the eye and swear that something stepped out of the tree line on two legs, shaped like a wolf, built like a bodybuilder, and smart enough to test your fear. Authorities call it misidentified wildlife. Rangers shrug and say stress plays tricks. Skeptics laugh. But when the stories line up, different states, different decades, same build, same behavior, same chilling intelligence, it stops sounding like confusion. It starts sounding like a pattern. Tonight, you and I are going through 5 encounters that suggest the same thing. Something is watching us from the dark. Let's begin. Case 1, the thing on the overpass. Location, Western Montana, 2015. Witness, state trooper. Our first witness is not some camper with a flashlight. He's a highway patrol officer with 10 years on the job. We will call him Mark. It is late October, just before 3 in the morning. Cold air biting, empty highway stretching forever. He is approaching narrow overpass that crosses a shallow river. Up ahead, something moves beside the guardrail. He assumes it is a deer. Then the shape rises. Not awkwardly, not slowly. It stands up straight. Mark eases off the gas. The beam of his headlights lands on it fully. A tall figure, too broad in the chest, too narrow in the waist, arms hanging far too low for a human. The head is long, like a wolf, not rounded like a person, and the eyes reflect a bright yellow point that locks onto him. The creature steps away from the railing, deliberate, calm, almost like it is choosing to be seen. For one full second, he sees every detail. Dark fur, strongman's chest, long muzzle puffing clouds of vapor, legs bent back like a canine but balanced on 2 feet effortlessly. He drives past with adrenaline rushing so fast he can hardly breathe. The mirror shows the creature stepping into the lane behind him. His dash cam catches his quiet whisper, "Jesus." After half a mile, he forces himself to turn back. The spotlight sweeps the road. Nothing is there. No footprints. No tracks. No sign anything had stood there seconds before. He never files a report. He knows what it would do to his career. Months later, he sends the dashcam clip anonymously to a paranormal blogger. Grainy, blown out, but clear enough to show a tall figure rising beside the road as he approaches. Mark says he does not know what it was, but he knows what it was not. Case 2, the winter siege at Pine Hollow. Location, Northern Ontario, 2009. Witnesses, family of 4. Deep in Northern Ontario, surrounded by frozen pines and a silent lake, a family settles into their cabin for Christmas. Eric, his wife, and their 2 kids. No neighbors for half a mile. Full winter silence pressing against the windows. Just after midnight, Eric wakes to footsteps on the porch. Slow, heavy, not bare heavy, heavier. He grabs a flashlight and steps into the front room. The porch light flicks on, hazy through the frost on the glass. The footsteps stop right outside the door. Something rises into view at the small square window, close enough that its breath fogs the other side of the pane. The face staring back is not a bear. Narrow muzzle, forward-facing eyes, tall ears dusted in frost. The face fills the entire window. Eric raises the flashlight and blasts the creature through the glass. It jerks back and snarls, flashing long white teeth that look built to crack bone. The sound shakes the door frame. His kids start screaming. His wife grabs their shotgun. Their dog hides under the table and refuses to come out. The creature begins circling the cabin. Claws scrape the wood siding. Windows flex inward as something leans on them. Footsteps move from wall to wall, methodical, inspecting every weak spot. Hours crawl by. The creature keeps returning to the door, breathing against the window, fogging the glass from the outside. Nobody sleeps. At dawn, the footsteps finally stop. Eric cracks the door open. Cold air rushes in. The first thing he notices is the smell. Wet fur, musk, an iron scent like old blood. Then he sees the prints in the snow. Dozens of them circling the cabin. Elongated, deep claw marks at the tips. Stride length far too long for a 4-footed animal. Right under the window are 2 larger impressions. Flat and broad, shaped more like feet than paws. The conservation officer calls it a distorted bear track. Eric no longer argues. He simply never brought his family back in the winter again. What he cannot forget is the eyes. Not curious, calculating. Case 3, the Warehouse Watcher. Location, rural Ohio, 2013. Witness, night security guard. A dead industrial park sits outside a quiet Ohio town. Empty warehouses, long fences, security cameras that work only when they feel like it. Louis works nights there. It is boring work until one November morning around 2 a.m. He clicks through the cameras. Camera 1, empty lot. Camera 2, loading dock. Camera 3, back fence. Camera 4, something crouched beside the dumpster. He leans toward the screen. The shape lifts its head and 2 bright points flare in the infrared. Eyes, reflective, locked straight on the camera. The figure unfolds upward, tall, broad-shouldered, head-shaped like a canine. Arms long enough that the claws curl around the dumpster. It stares into the lens, not confused, not startled, almost curious. Then it tilts its head left, then right, the way a dog reacts to a new sound. Except emotion is cold. It steps closer to the camera. Now the muzzle is clear, the teeth visible. The top of its head nearly touches the upper edge of the frame. Louis reaches for the radio. Before he can speak, the creature snaps its head towards something off-screen and sprints away in a blur. He flips to the next camera. For 2 frames, he sees a tall, dark figure sprinting on 2 legs past a floodlight, stride impossibly long. When he reaches the lot, nothing is there. Only a smear of dark fur or dirt 8 feet up a fence. His supervisor calls it a glitch. Maybe a kid in a costume. Louis keeps the footage anyway. He tells people the worst part was not the shape. It was the way it stared directly into the camera, like it just realized humans were watching back. Case 4, the Desert Patrol Encounter. Location, southeastern Arizona, 1998. Witness, Border Patrol agent. This next encounter takes us to the open desert where sound travels forever. A Border Patrol agent named Ramirez scans the ridgeline through night vision one late summer night. The desert air is hot and still. He spots movement along a ridge. At first, he thinks it is a smuggler crawling low. He switches to thermal. The figure glows bright white against the cold sand. Too big, too bright. Then it stands, not like a person pushing to their feet, but in one smooth, spring-loaded motion. 7 feet tall. Long, narrow head, pointed ears, chest built like a competitive lifter, waist narrow and tapered, arms long and swinging with balance, legs bent backward at the knee like a canine. He lowers the thermal in disbelief, raises night vision again. The creature stands there, staring at him. Its eyes reflect like polished metal. It begins walking along the ridge parallel to him, keeping the same distance, almost matching his angle. Not toward him, but studying him, shadowing him. Then it steps into a line of mesquite and vanishes. He waits. The shape never emerges on the other side. The next day, he brings another agent. They find prints in the sand, elongated with deep claws, but shaped almost like a wide foot. Nothing like a bear or human. Ramirez eventually transfers regions. He says the desert changed for him that night. Not everything out there crawls on 4 legs. Some things walk. Case 5. The Mississippi River Bridge Incident. Location: Louisiana, 2007. Witnesses: 2 tow truck operators. Our final encounter takes place on a long bridge over the Mississippi River in Louisiana. 2 tow truck operators named Earl and Damien respond to a stalled vehicle at 2 in the morning. The sedan is empty, doors locked, no driver in sight. Damien notices gouges on the concrete barrier, deep, long, like claws dug through the surface. Then he hears it, a slow, controlled exhale rising from beneath the bridge. He leans over the barrier. A hand rises into view. Not human, too large, too long, too clawed. Thick, dark fur covers the forearm that follows. Then a narrow head emerges, water dripping off its muzzle, ears flattened from the climb. Its gold eyes lock onto him. Damien stumbles back. Earl runs over, thinking someone is injured. The creature pulls itself higher until its shoulders clear the railing. Massive, drenched, breathing slow and deep. It opens its jaws slightly. A vibration rolls through the concrete. Not a growl. Not a scream. Something worse. Something meant to warn. The 2 men back away, slowly, toward their truck. Neither dares to turn their back on it. Once inside, Earl slams the doors and hits the gas. Damien watches through the mirror as the creature steps fully onto the bridge, standing upright, water streaming off its fur like it rose straight out of the river to meet them. The police later call the incident an abandoned vehicle. Earl and Damien tell a different story on long night drives. Do not linger on the Mississippi Bridge after dark. Some things climb up from below. 5 encounters. 5 places. 5 people who had no reason to invent what they saw. Different landscapes, different backgrounds. Same creature. Massive, wolf-shaped, walking upright, studying the humans who cross its territory. You can call it misidentified wildlife. If that helps you sleep, that you can call it folklore or hysteria. Or you can accept that there are things out there we still do not understand. If you made it to the end, drop a comment that says Dogman's watching, so I know you stayed all the way through. Tap like, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another descent into the unknown video. Until next time, keep your curtains closed after midnight. You never know what might already be watching.